my Emil Amok's Takeout. Um, Merry Christmas, season's greetings, happy holidays, all that. Happy Xmas. I mean it. Welcome to this our pop up. It's a pop up. Emil Amok's Takeout. Ishmael Reed will be with me in a second. Ishmael Reed, the literary legend, the Oakland writer, the Before Columbus founder. He'll be with me in a second. We'll talk about Before Columbus. We'll talk about the Before Columbus Foundation. We'll talk about all the stuff that's on his mind about the holiday and the news. The news is, are we at war with Nigeria? I want to ask Ishmael Reed that and other things. But first, I want to talk about, I do this show called Emil Amok 69. I'm a 69er. I mean, 69 again? Yeah, Emil does it. It's my show. It's not this show. It's a show that I do. It's going to be in San Francisco, and it's free, sort of. It's at the Playground SF. Go to the link if you're watching me on YouTube. Go to that link at playgroundsf.org, I think, right? Playground.sf. They have a nice theater, the Potrero Stage in San Francisco, and I'm there in January. And then I'm doing another show in February. And it's all free with donation. So it's like we're passing a hat. You see it free, and then you can give as much as you want. I mean, no one will give like maybe. I mean, would you donate $5,000 to me? I mean, you could. I mean, but $30, $20, $10. They give you a choice, and then also you can you can just give $1. I mean, you can watch it free. You could stream it if you don't want to see me on Potrero Hill at the Potrero Stage, but it's playgroundsf.vb. Let's see, vbotickets.com. That's where you go. And if you see the link, you can just go there. Or you can go to my website at amok.com, and there's a link there, how to get tickets. And the tickets, like I said, it's basically free. It's a donation. We're passing the hat. Emil Amok 69. It's about my Trump derangement syndrome. Now you want to see that, don't you? Yeah, you want to see that. And it's coming up in January. So check it out. Hope you're there. All right, and now let me bring up my really a kind of a mentor, a person I look up to, literary legend, the founder of the Before Columbus Foundation, Mr. Ishmael Reed. Let's see, there he is. Hi,
Hey,
Ishmael.
how you doing?
I'm
Yeah,
fine. How are you?
I'm
Thank,
doing
thank you,
good.
thank you for being on the show day after Christmas. Hope you had a nice one. What did you asked me when we were off? What did the Filipinos do before colonial? I think we did. It's a lot of lights, a lot of harvesting. We did a lot of feeling good about just being alive and
Oh,
ready for the new
you know?
year.
Can you identify any of the customs?
Well, the customs, remember the Spanish were there for 300
Oh,
years.
I mean, before they came, before the Europeans.
Before the Europeans came, I think we did a lot of what people would say are pagan customs, right?
Like,
Lights,
can
light.
you get to identify them, or you don't know the names of them?
I know that they have a thing called a parole, which is like putting up fancy lit up lanterns. I know they celebrate the harvest. I kind of, when my father came to America in 1928, he was a colonized Filipino. So when we came here and I grew up, born and raised in San Francisco, I guess all I had was a Christmas tree. We had a plastic
I think
Christmas tree.
that was one of the strategies of the Christian movement,
Mhm.
like what's happening here.
Yeah.
They want all of us to become Christian. They want this to become a Christian nation.
Yeah.
So it's always had an eye on eliminating the traditions of those whom they conquest.
Hmm.
The Catholic Church was a little more flexible. So,
Well,
for example, as long as you went to Mass in Cuba, you could celebrate Yoruba African religion. The same way
mhm.
in Brazil, it's the Protestants who come up with this stuff, my way or the highway. So that's what we're going through right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. We're going through that right now. And excuse me a second. I dropped something. I mean, I have to say, were you surprised at all by what happened over the weekend? I mean, you were celebrating Christmas or celebrating the holiday, and then Trump in the afternoon puts out the hey, we just sent in, there's a military action in Nigeria.
Yeah, well, I think that has something to do with those. I don't know the origin of
Mhm.
Hesketh. I haven't looked it up. The family name Hesketh.
Oh,
Excuse me.
Hegseth,
No, yeah,
Pete Hegseth.
yeah. But I think he talks about a warrior ethic. And I was interviewed by the BBC recently,
Mhm.
last week or so, because they're doing a special on the centennial or
Mhm.
bicentennial, whatever, of the United States. And I'm among some of those interviewed. And I said, there's something about a Game of Thrones mentality that enters into these perpetual wars
Mhm.
in the United States. And I know that Trump's mother is Scottish,
Mhm.
but I think there's something Northern European warrior Game of Thrones mentality that influences the war policy of the United States. These guys are always looking for trouble. Like
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, you got guys just marching around. I mean, most of the hours on the Game of Thrones are guys marching around looking for a fight.
Well,
Now, I don't know if it's a DNA thing or not.
maybe I mean that's something I haven't considered. I was maybe more thinking that here is the holiday. They just found a million new documents for the on the Epstein files that that they have to release now, and they have to play Grinch by making people work overtime in the holidays to redact all these things with Trump's name on it, and that I think Trump was just looking for an excuse, another distraction to create to get people's minds off the Epstein files, and so we've got war. We've got war against potentially Venezuela, war against potentially Nigeria. Although apparently we're working in cahoots with the Nigerians against the Muslims, but it's unclear.
Well, I think the Nigerian leadership likes getting paid. I've been to
Yeah,
Nigeria,
yeah,
a lot of poverty there. I think in Africa you have these elites who like to get checks from these oil companies and other entities. Matter of fact, when I interviewed Hugh Masekela, the South African trumpeter,
hmm
he said the multinationals found out that you liberate the president. You don't liberate the rest. You liberate the president, give him $1 billion. I don't know what kind of deals these guys have made, but these people have not learned from Vietnam, Iraq,
hmm
Afghanistan, that you don't get involved in these land wars. They cannot defeat ISIS from the air. They have to get on the ground. And Eisenhower warned them about Vietnam. I don't know whether you know this.
that what that ISIS what?
Eisenhower
Oh,
warned them
Eisenhower. Yeah.
about Vietnam. He said, "You do not get involved in a ground war in Asia."
hmm
They went on ahead. We're the best. And
Right.
just bring it on. All this macho talk. Like what did he say to the president of Venezuela? Oh man, we'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
Also stupid
Maduro. Yeah.
jock talk. And you wonder why they insist on being so jock. But anyway, that's a Freud.
Yeah.
Uh, Here we go again.
Yeah.
Now
Hey,
he's like, now, what's his name? Hesketh or whatever.
Hegseth. Hegseth.
Well, anyway, it's a hard name to pronounce.
It is weird.
He's
Yeah.
talking about war with China. That will
Yeah.
mean the end of the United States as we know it if they get in a land war in China.
A land war. all this stuff is happening. You think, I mean, what is the strategic purpose? I think the only purpose is to create these distractions from, Trump's, uh, exposure or his vulnerability in the Epstein case. But I'm wondering what other reason could there be to start a war, and also to start a war without going to Congress. They
Well,
haven't gone to Congress for any of this.
I think, well, they haven't gone in Congress in the past,
Yeah.
but I think that I think a lot of these Christians, fundamentalist Christians,
Hmm.
have his ear, like the Charlie Kirk people,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and I think that's their issue about Christians being eaten alive or whatever, in other parts of
Yeah.
the world. But I've been in Nigeria,
Yeah.
and they really don't want to get involved in a war in Nigeria. I mean, I know the leadership might be corrupt,
Hmm.
but I've been to northern Nigeria, which is a Muslim stronghold. They really don't want to get involved in war there or war on the African continent
Uh-huh.
because they just don't know the land. Just like in
Yeah.
Afghanistan, they didn't know the territory. No, they're British. The British didn't know. The British went into Afghanistan
Hey,
and got trapped in a Khyber Pass and lost
yeah.
5,000 people.
Hey, the American public, I think if you ask the American public, do you want to go to war? I think, well, even the MAGA base said, well, what happened to America first? America first meant not going in and being the policeman, but now if we're going to police the Muslim Christian wars, we're like the religious police now all of a sudden.
Well, it's like some of the leadership at Jonestown saying, "Well, if we have to kill everybody, can't you kind of dilute the Kool Aid? Mix it with a little more water." I mean, these people were Trump. This is a cult, and even though his policies are injuring them,
Hmm.
most of these policies are damaging the red states.
Yeah.
For example, SNAP and some of these other programs. It's part of the cult. They'll make any sacrifice. So that's the problem we have.
Yeah, I mean, you were writing last week a number of times, and I wanted to get in touch with you and say, because you mentioned Charlie Kirk, his Turning Point Foundation had their convention, and uh, there's a lot of dissension. First of all, they can't agree on well, their racist is held toward South Asians and toward Usha Vance and toward and they can't figure out what to do with a a neo-Nazi who happens to be Latino, which is uh, which is weird. What's going on with
I
the
think
MAGA base?
I think it has anti-Semitic overtones
Yeah.
because the rumor that they're circulating is that Kirk was about to break with Israel and the Mossad or something, had him assassinated. And the Epstein thing also has, you know, anti-Semitic overtones. I guess that's why Marjorie Taylor Greene is, changed her mind about the whole thing. Jewish guy corrupting white girls.
Yeah.
You
Well.
you won't get that from the press. You get it from me.
Yeah.
I've studied this issue in Nazi Germany, all about Jewish guys corrupting white girls, and that's what's happening here. You won't. The corporate media will not tackle that issue, but I think it's there.
You do. Okay. When are we going to see more of that? Sort of like just become more public or out in the or more
I wrote,
obvious
I wrote
to the
about it.
mainstream.
I wrote about it in my novel, Rex's Eyeballing,
Hmm.
which people denounce without having read it. Matter of fact, I got a book I'm working on now called "How I Survived CIA Feminism,
Yeah.
Anti-Semitic Womanism, and Dudes Pretending to Be Feminists." Because
It's,
I got hell from the novel Reckless Eyeballing,
mm,
except from real writers like Toni Morrison, Nobel Prize winner, Adrian
mm.
Kennedy, whose play The Ohio State Murders, it was on Broadway a couple of years ago.
Kent State.
Yeah, and Gwendolyn Brooks
Mm.
gave me a prize for the novel, But the lower tier, these academics
Mhm.
lost all credibility because they want to be public intellectuals too. So
Uh-huh.
they say a lot of wild things. But that novel was inspired by a lecture I heard from the San Francisco Holocaust Museum,
Mhm.
where they talked about the case of Jude Suisse. This was a film about a Jewish guy corrupting white women in a court, I think 18th century.
Mhm.
And they used to show this film to the Nazis before they went to war. Some of them, I guess. It was a propaganda movie, Jude Suisse. So you can still get it if you want to look at it. And a JUDLSSUESS, something like that.
Mhm.
And accompanying the showing of the film was a pamphlet. And the pamphlet said, well, black guys are treated the same way as Jewish guys in Nazi Germany. I said, well, I never heard this before. I've been, they give me all this Anglo education,
Yeah.
civilizing school, missionary school, the Carlisle school, like the Indians,
Like the Indians, yeah.
you're Indianness and you become like, you're okay.
Mhm.
So I explored the situation, and it's right, is that the image of the Jew and Jewish male in Nazi Germany was that of a pimp. So I get upset when people like David Simon apply that stereotype to us. I said, well, this is where you guys depicted Nazi Germany. So I think it has that angle where, first of all, Epstein was smarter than all of them. They hate that. They hate that. That's really a stereotype. He's behind the scenes manipulating. Like you said where Vance talked about George Soros the other day.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He's such a jerk. Where'd they get that guy?
JD Vance?
He's such a jerk.
Yeah.
And
Well,
now they're saying he has to give up his Indian wife and marry Charlie Kirk's widow. Yeah. So, hey, oh God, I'm having so much fun. But I think there's an anti-Semitic angle to the Epstein thing. And matter of fact, you ever watch the Daily Beast?
sometimes,
I watch
sometimes.
it every day. The Daily Beast on streaming on
Mhm.
YouTube. YouTube.
Yeah.
And there's this guy who spent all that time in the White House. I don't know, I've forgotten his name. He wrote a book. He's suing Melania Trump now.
Um. Oh, I have to check that. Is it the guy who? Well, I can't come up with his name right now.
He's suing Melania Trump. So there's an indication that I don't know. There's a report that she was Epstein's lover before Trump. Trump introduced, and she might have been involved in sex trafficking. I mean, it's all out there.
Yeah.
But he said
Well.
he said he's seen the photos of Trump with these little girls, and they're naked.
Mhm.
They had these 12-year-olds at Mar-a-Lago
Yeah.
getting naked before these billionaires and stuff, man.
But
So
you know
they don't
what?
want,
You know what?
they
You
don't
know
want
what?
that to come out. They don't want that to come out.
You know what Trump said though in his Truth Social post over the weekend. He said, "Look, I dumped Epstein before all these other guys who are trying to cover up stuff. He was claiming he was praising himself
It's not
for
true.
saying I dropped him before everyone else did.
Well,
So
he said he never went to Mar-a-Lago too. That turned out to
that's
be
right. That's right. I mean, the new documents that came out, the one that says oh, he's actually been on the plane 8 times. You know,
well. I think Bondi's probably going to be disbarred, like
well,
a long line of these people who defend him, like Giuliani and all of them.
yeah. Well,
He's
maybe
about
not.
disbarred.
Maybe not immediately, but then disbarred her. Maybe she would be somehow disgraced. Maybe,
Oh, I
uh,
mean, I mean, what disgrace? I mean, she was down there preparing to fine him about what's
yeah.
that thing called like Trump University or what scam was.
Yeah.
He gave
Oh
her
yeah. Well,
he,
well,
he gave her $25,000. She backed off, so I guess you can get her cheap.
well. The thing is, if something happens to Bondi, if I guess if you are in a situation where you have been so loyal to Trump, the only card you have left to play is you got to go down that road and hope that he will later pardon you or revive your
Yeah,
revive your career or your life
well,
to
they got this insurance lawyer, Callahan,
mm,
right? Beauty
yeah.
queen, runner up for runner, excuse me, runner up for Miss Colorado. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I
She's the one that went to the
oh, you're talking about
the one that
Lindsay
went,
Halligan.
yeah,
Halligan.
Halligan, the one that
Halligan.
went
Yeah.
to like Fisher Games and all of them. Yeah,
Yeah, she's the one who didn't know her P's and Q's, and suddenly
well, you know,
all the cases were thrown
she's
out.
the one who went to the African American Museum
Hmm.
and reported to Trump that it was all about slavery. And I visited the African American Museum when I was in D.C. recently, and it's I don't want to. That's okay. There's
Oh,
some
you don't want to be.
there's some weaknesses in the exhibit, but anyway, I saw all these white kids coming, busloads of white kids coming to the museum. So that's one of the reasons they wanted to close out the museum. She's the one who went back and told Trump that it was all about
Oh,
slavery.
that's right.
So I
Yeah,
said there ought to be a Irish American museum in D.C. So what's her name, Halligan,
Halligan. Yeah. Well,
and,
her
Steve,
thing was
and
her thing was.
Steve Bannon, and all
Yeah.
these Irish guys and women,
Mhm.
and find out that they didn't come over here on the Queen Mary. They came over here in coffin ships and remind them of their history. So they're going to be hanging out with these people. Now, they had an Irish senator, a real Irish person, come from Ireland, and he condemned them. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
A member of the Irish government, or came to, I think, came to New York, and he condemned all the Irish people around Trump at that time. Kellyanne O'Donnell, Kellyanne, and what all these people.
Kellyanne Conway. Yeah.
And said they'd forgotten where they came from.
Yeah. The thing about Lindsay Halligan, I mean, her thing, and it's this is the Trump mega line that America should not be seen in a negative light throughout history. That's a bad thing. Yeah. So that's her justification. That's why America it should be the America the beautiful 24/7, nothing negative, and remember all the things about slavery. Let's not see white people in the black in a bad light because of slavery, because there were some remember there's some positive things that we derive from slavery.
Yeah, well, in a democratic society, if you try to forbid something, people become interested. So
Yeah, true.
Governor Youngins
Yeah,
of Virginia, was he from Virginia, someplace?
yeah,
Youngins
yeah.
was to take
Youngkin,
Youngkin.
Governor Young.
I
Yeah.
get names all mixed up, but anyway, I've always been bad at that. But he might be he might replace who's the head, who's the one that's head of Homeland Security.
Oh, Christine Ohm. Christine Ohm.
Excuse me. He's supposed to be might replace her. Well, he's scheduled or he's rumored to be the one's
Yeah.
going to.
Well, Glenn Youngkin. He's popular among among.
He one of the reasons he won the election down there is because he has called for the banning of Toni Morrison's novel. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You go to Google, you'll find that where he was against Beloved because some mother told him that it was corrupting her son.
Hmm.
And it turns out she was plant, a Trump plant or something like that. So I asked her son,
Hmm. Toni Morrison.
Toni Morrison's son, Ford, the effect that had on. He said, "Well, sales went up. I mean, sales of the book went up as a result of his condemning it." So that's how people in a democratic society are. If you try to ban something, that makes them interested, curious.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Hey,
Jimmy Kimmel, like Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. Well, he got popular again. I mean, he was always popular,
Yeah.
but and
I don't-
now, but
But I
now Trump.
started watching him after Trump.
Right after the Trump thing, I started watching him again too. But now Trump also wants to go after Stephen Colbert again.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more anti Colbert stuff. Let me ask you one last thing before we talk about Before Columbus Foundation and the 50th anniversary of the new book Blind Persistence, which launched last week. Let me ask you a question about what you think about 60 Minutes and the censorship there. Now, I have experience with 60 Minutes, and I know that they're not perfect, but I know that the Barry Weiss, the new CBS uh, news editor pulling that that segment. I've seen the segment. I don't know what they're buying time for Trump, wanting to make it more of a balanced propaganda thing. What was your view about what Barry Weiss and CBS did by pulling that 60-minute segment on CCOT, the El Salvadoran prison
Yeah,
story?
well, you're able to see it also. It was shown in Canada. Is that correct? It was shown in Canada by Canadian.
Yeah, showing Canada. That's how I saw it.
Probably shown all over the world.
Yeah.
So there,
So what were they afraid of? Well, why
he,
did they pull it?
he's all cozy with these people.
Yeah.
He's cozy with these families. That's why on CNN, what's this guy Scott Jennings gets all that time.
Yeah. Oh, the guy on CNN. Yeah.
He gets all that time because there's a right winger who runs CNN. You remember Steve Allen used to do this imitation of the angry newsman, right
I don't
wing.
remember that. I do remember
Oh man, that's Scott James. You guys are caricature. But anyway, the head of the guy that runs CNN says he really likes Scott on there. On there.
yeah.
No,
Yeah. But
no,
what do you think about the should I mean Penn Oakland didn't make a statement, but Pan America did, and they said when it's a sad thing when news organizations look for approval of the government before they put something out, and that it was a disservice to America and the democracy, for that episode to happen. That kind of corporate censorship.
well, Tennessee's a chair up in Oakland.
Yes.
We went to New York, and she went by their beautiful, their building, and she said, "Well, why can't I get on as member of the board of directors?" And they told her she had to be rich. And both the National Book Foundation, they're all endorsed by these or controlled by these wealthy publishers, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody from Ralph Lauren is on the board at the National Book Foundation. I said, "Well, damn, I thought they made clothes." So I don't trust anything. I shouldn't say this because they were subsidizing us for a while, but then they dropped us.
Yeah.
We were,
Well, I mean,
we're part of we were we were part of Los Angeles Penn. They were we were under their umbrella at one point.
yeah.
They would give they would give out awards to these screenwriters and have these beautiful events in the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe $1,000 a night.
Yeah.
So then they detached. I don't know, from New York Penn. So then for a while we were under New York Penn in America. And at one point they said, "Well, you have to put our logo on all your stationery thing."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "That's like the Romans, insisting that they carried the logo of the Roman legion to all their provinces." So they backed off of that one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't. I think Penn America is pretty shaky. They got in trouble, for well, at one point the head was an inside trader.
Oh, yeah.
And,
But
and
Penn Oakland is
they had,
independent.
they had
Penn,
George Schultz. They had a celebration of George Schultz on a yacht.
yeah.
So I don't know about the.
All right, but Penn Oakland, uh, to which I'm a board member.
Called the working. It's called the Working Class Penn,
Yeah.
Blue Collar
But,
Penn, by the New York Times.
but we're independent, right? We're
Right.
independent. No one tells us.
Right.
All right. All right.
We gave
So
Joy Reid an award.
pardon me.
We gave Joy Reid an award.
Oh yeah, Joy Reid got an award. She didn't show up, but that's all right. That's all right.
She didn't show up in nothing.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the Before Columbus Foundation, the new book.
Mm-hmm.
Blind Persistence. You had the book launch last week at City Lights. I saw it was streamed online. Uh, the significance of 50 years of the Before Columbus Foundation in your mind.
Well, they're always talking about polarization,
Mm-hmm.
which the media are marketing, and that's because they've allowed this cult
Mm-hmm.
to set things, to set the agenda and the trends. This MAGA cult, and because like maybe the MAGA people are upset with the government. They want to overthrow it and everything. They want to, they want a coup against the democracy in the United States, polarization. Well, here's an organization where people from different ethnic groups have been working together, just like Finn, for
Hmm.
50 years, which means that we had to get the book published in Canada because there's no American publisher who would find that saleable. The books they want to sell are about conflict, and we
Well,
don't. We don't so anyway, I think it's remarkable that Native Americans and others, that we've all. One thing that we smashed is tokenism.
mhm.
They can't impose these divas and devos on us. As a matter of fact, uh, Indian country newspaper remarked that 5 Native Americans received awards in Miami,
Mhm.
the Miami Book Fair, when we did the ceremonies down there. So we sort of like helped smash this whole idea of there only being one or two bright natives among the people in the forest.
Yeah, I noticed that you said that in the little exchange that you did last week online, talking about the Before Columbus Foundation. You said that institutions today are into this tokenism,
Mhm.
but Before Columbus smashes token. Explain how tokenism becomes a thing in these institutions and how it overshadows other voices.
Well, they what they do is they hire somebody who says what they say in private, as one person did it.
Mhm.
What's that guy used to be on NPR? He became a Republican. He's on Fox News now. He did something called Ghetto 101. And one of these guys who has, I don't know, he has a show, some series. They gave these little black kids microphones and
Oh
encouraged them.
yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that Ghetto 101?
Yeah, I remember. I know the guy the guy who produced it.
Yeah. And the guy, what's his name? Yeah.
Well, the guy I know who was behind that was a guy named David Isay. But
Right, right. So it was a disgrace. I mean, I still got the clipping right up. I had the clipping of that program right up here on the table here.
mhm.
It was a disgrace, and the kids just were encouraged to create violence and all this. Um, uh, I think that's what they want is this kind of conflict.
Well, tell me about the tokenism. I
Yeah,
mean, how did?
I forgot my train of thought there. What were we talking
Oh,
about?
we w're talking about tokenism. How the institutions create a
Okay,
tokenism,
okay. So what?
and
So
then that what they
that's an
silence
example.
the other voices.
That's an
Silence the other
example
voices.
of it. And
Yeah.
this guy who used to be on NPR, he says, "Well, they're saying what we say in private."
Hmm.
So they get somebody like Stanley Crouch or some of the others
Hmm.
say what they say in private, and they give him publicity, promote him, they give him grants and all that kind of stuff. Or John McWhorter,
Oh yeah.
people like that. So those are tokens.
And you're
Tokens. The tokens are minorities who say what they say in private.
your statement last week during this conversation about before Columbus, the Before Columbus Foundation, is that these tokens they 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 end up silencing or overshadowing other people, other voices
Right.
who are either better writers, better thinkers, and and that's the reason why Before Columbus Foundation is needed
Yeah.
to
Or when the token bites a hand that feeds the token, diva or devos,
devote.
drop
Yeah.
them, they drop them and get somebody else. So in the 1920s, they had Claude McKay,
Hmm.
and his job was to go after the black nationalists or the black guys in Harlem whose position was different from Max Eastman and the white socialists downtown. So that was his job. If you want to see a good film about that, it's called Reds.
Oh yeah, Reds. That's
Max I think what's his name? Wallace Berry plays Max Eastman or something like that.
That's the one with Warren Beatty, right?
Yeah, Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty.
And Diane Keaton, I
Yeah,
think.
and
Yeah.
so he played along until they got rid of him because they decided that when they talked about socialism, they meant white people, and so he got disillusioned. He went to cover a theater event, theatrical event, and they made him sit in the balcony. And he went back to the Liberator and tried to get some sympathy. There was no sympathy for them. This is still the argument, Barry Sanders and all of class trumps race.
Yeah.
That we should see the contradiction in American society is based upon class, not race. Then you get the nationalists say, no, it's race first. Race above class. That's been the clash, at least in Manhattan, for years. And so he left the socialists, became a Catholic. And
Catholic.
his publications were his books were published by a Catholic press, and he found that the Catholic had more sympathy with his position as a black person, black man, than the socialist.
Well,
Then
so
they,
Israel, what is your view? Race over class or class over race?
well, I think I've catching more hell as being a black man in my class. Of course, uh, my new neighbors don't see it that way.
What do you mean? Your new neighbors?
Well, there was an exodus out of this neighborhood because the blacks are reduced to the status of renters, and so they were vulnerable when the landlords raised the rent. So a house on this block went from $160,000 to $1 million,
So you've been hit by gentrification.
and we have an alliance with the Hispanic neighbors on the
Mhm.
block. We have an alliance. My next door's neighbors for decades were black, but now they're Hispanic, and we get along, but the
Mhm.
whites don't relate to us. So I think they believe that white race is first. I mean, class is first.
Ah.
So it's a. I don't want to get a jumbled argument going here, but what's the name? Shirley Chisholm
Mhm.
said that she had more problems as a woman than as a black person, and CIA, Gloria Steinem, and people like that ran with that. So they can say anything about black guys they want to say because
Oh yeah.
gender trumps race. Okay, let me
Yeah.
finish. So she went along. They went along with her up until the convention when they switched support for her to Mondale, the man, the white
Oh
man,
yeah. Yeah.
and she was in tears. She's left in tears. They
So
don't.
so
They don't
yeah.
have that part of it.
But now you're saying your neighbors there, they believe it's class over race too.
Well, I guess they believe. They believe it's race over class.
Race over
It
yeah.
goes both ways. I mean, they believe that they're being white, no matter their class,
Oh yeah.
to a black person who might have wealth. So somebody like a proletariat white person could probably put on a suit and get in clubs that a black person couldn't get into
Well,
who's got money.
let's bring it back to the Before Columbus Foundation, which celebrates a diversity of voices. Before the voices that were here, the storytellers who were here before Columbus, how do you which stories do you tell in a world that class is now seems to seep in as as a deciding factor, and who's acceptable, who's not.
Well, I think people with money are more. I think the way society's arranging now is that the top 1% have more resources and assets than maybe
Yeah.
percentage of those middle class or whatever class we're in. So I think it's a confusing argument. I just think that I think millions of whites want to be left alone and really don't want to interact with other people. And I think
Yeah.
that's probably based upon white superiority or white supremacy. So I
Yeah.
think that in the last election, which you had
Yeah.
38 million vote
Mhm.
for Trump, Was it 38 million?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, there you go. I mean, they voted for a man who tried to overthrow the government.
Yeah.
I mean, their resentment is such against blacks and all of us that they would vote for this man who's jeopardizing their lives with this crackpot Secretary of Health.
Yeah.
A lot of kids are going to die because of his crazy thing about vaccines. And a lot of people in Africa have already, hundreds of thousands of people have died already
Yeah.
because of suspension of foreign aid. And so it's a mess. But I'm reading these Confederates now. The Confederate writers are very honest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't couch this stuff in all kind of obscure things like, I'm anti-woke and all this stuff. They never defined woke, you know. They didn't quibble, And I'm reading Thomas Nelson Page, Thomas Dixon, and Joel Chandler Harris. They were afraid of an insurrection. They were afraid that emancipation, so-called quote marks emancipation, that was their obsession.
Mm-hmm.
Insurrection and black women. They were obsessed with black women. Even the Klansman, Thomas Dixon, whose novel The Klansman was the basis for Birth of a Nation. He had they all, those were their two obsessions. So the insurrection sphere is replaced by replacement.
Replacement. Yeah.
So they're very cleverly, except for Vivek Ramaswamy, who ran your old time GOP campaign, picking fights with Negroes, Now he's a statesman.
Yeah.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
So anyway, listen, they have scared these people to believe they're going to be replaced. And I think that had a lot to do with the election. Now the corporate media, they will continue to lie and say it's all about prices.
Yeah, affordability. Where do you stand on affordability?
Well, I mean, no, the corporate media has to make excuses for these races and attribute the election of Trump to something else. People from whites from all economic classes voted for him, including university people, college people, rich people, poor people, all of them voted for him. And there's a study that came out. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've noticed. Have you noticed that the studies and reports about American society that are printed regularly in newspapers contradict the opinion page?
Well, right now there are studies saying
like the studies that say that Asian Americans weren't discriminated against at Harvard. Yet you get even an Asian American organization said that.
They said that?
Yes.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that one.
I got it all. I got it all the material. Yeah. And when called upon by Congress to talk about discrimination of Asian American students said there was none. Well, they got a few pawns, right? Oh, yeah. Kerry, what's that guy's name? Elon, not Elon Musk, but what's his name? The guy that went around.
Blum.
Yeah, Blum, like the think tank, the conservative equivalent to
Heritage Foundation.
Oh, death of a salesman.
Oh, yeah.
Like going around peddling, going around from place to place, trying to recruit people who will go against blacks at Harvard. But I mean, David French gets in the New York Times and on TV and says, "Oh, so." Matter of fact, the only place that I saw that listed the money behind that thing at Harvard was the Harvard Crimson.
Yeah,
and they had all these eccentric, the usual eccentric billionaires financing that thing.
Well, since that campaign that ended up with the banning of affirmative action, and not just at Harvard but in all schools, they did for the first time put out the results of where Asians were. The number of Asians went up, the numbers of blacks and Hispanics went down. Affirmative action, there's no affirmative action. And it seems that
but affirmative action is okay for white men.
Yeah, that's right. Affirmative action.
I mean, the man who opposed my tenure at the University of California, Berkeley, died without publishing a book.
Yeah. Well,
now if he were a black person, or Asian American, or Hispanic, he would have had to seek a job some other institution. They kept him on.
Yeah.
He
No,
never,
that's true.
and he
Hey,
never
look,
wrote books. So what about that affirmative action?
ever since Trump, the idea of affirmative action has really been flipped on its head because now we have the least qualified getting the top jobs,
That's
the
right.
least qualified, the Department of Defense, Department of War, the head of the DOJ, the least qualified. They're all getting these jobs.
All the mean girls, all these mean girls.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a strange world, and the Before Columbus Foundation, in my mind, is needed now more than ever to assure that at least we have these, the voices of people heard, published, and not over no not overlooked by the mainstream, which is
Well,
being
Robert,
gobbled up.
yeah, but the only publisher we get to do the book was Robert and Philpott.
I
You know,
saw. I noticed.
published
I
Carla's
mean,
book. He published Carla's book, Jew in Ramallah, about
mhm,
her hanging out, doing directing a play in Ramallah for 2 months,
mhm,
and
mhm,
finding that the people in the Middle East are not animals, which is how they depicted in the American corporate media. He published my novel. They ran me out of business as a novelist in this country. He published my novel. He published the Before Columbus Foundation. We could never have gotten that book published down here.
See, now, once again, for people who are like listening to this and saying, "Well, Ishmael," I mean, why wouldn't a mainstream publisher or even a university publisher be interested in the story of before Columbus, which has fought for the diversity of voices, fought for multiculturalism for 50 years. It's really at the forefront of that movement. Why wouldn't a mainstream publisher be interested in at least documenting the history of this pioneering organization?
Yeah, I think it's because they feel it wouldn't sell. It couldn't
Hmm.
sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the bottom line on it. That's the whole thing, the bottom line. But anyway, I'm glad it's published. We had a great event at City Lights there,
Hmm.
and we have some good reviews coming out in the future. The Nob Hill newspaper,
Nob Hill Gazette. Yeah.
yeah, they gave us the first review.
One thing I like about, or that I appreciate about the Before Columbus Foundation, it's still thriving as we enter this era where diversity, equity, and inclusion are considered dirty words to phrase that people don't want to mention. It's so negative. It's harder now than it ever was to fight for those issues.
Yeah, but this will never be a white nation. I know that. They worry about these birth rates, especially
Yeah.
especially
Well,
especially the Hispanic birth rate is really,
well, what do you think about? I mean, they say
and
the
the
birth rate is one
Asian,
point six
and the
per
Asian
per woman.
and the Asian American birth rate is soaring.
Yeah.
So let's sit in panic through these white nationalists. That's why. And I predicted. I told my partner Carla that there'd be a split because that's what happened in Nazi Germany.
Well,
Nazi
they
Germany split between Rome and Hitler. You remember that?
yeah,
You recall that?
yeah.
That his rival was Rome, who uh, there was the night of the long knives, where Hitler
Hmm.
went out there and killed everybody. I don't know
Yeah.
if that will happen here, but something like that might happen because all these guys are armed, and I'm writing an essay about Bivek's turnabout. I won't give
Well,
you. I won't give you the details of it.
yeah.
He came on like Eleanor Roosevelt, man.
Yeah. Well,
He
we're
said,
gonna see.
he said, now we don't have room in this party for people who discriminate against blacks, Hispanics, and Indians, because he
Yeah.
found out that these people he's palling around with have words for him too. Like they have the N word for us. They have
Yeah.
what they call them, Pete, Peet.
P
It's all,
E E T. Pete.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, they call him that. And now he and the second lady, they're trying to, they discriminate. They say horrible things about them. I said, well,
Yeah.
those who put out stereotypes die by stereotypes. See, these people believe that these people love them.
Yeah.
Like the head of the Hispanic to Trump organization got deported. and I'm thinking, here's Vivek, and ICE is putting him on a bus, and they're sending him to, I don't know, Uganda.
Yeah. Or Djibouti. A lot
Yeah,
of them were sent to
and
Djibouti.
he said, I was on your, well, I was on your side. I was on your side.
I don't know, but if I was looking at a population report the other day, and it showed that in the next century, the population explosion is going to be in Africa, and that the decline is going to be in Asia, and the U.S. is going to be, not as much of a decline as Asia, specifically China, but
One,
it's going to be down. But it's
one,
Africa that's going to explode.
well,
Africa.
one of these philosophers, what's his name? He has something called genthanasia, the nonviolent um, weeding out undesirables, called
Mm,
euthanasia, and they were getting ready to give him a Raymond Cattell,
hmm
Cattell. Look him up, Raymond
hmm
Cattell. He's a psychologist, and the American Psychological Association was, was about to give him an award until the ADL said he'd been somewhere where he like really admired Hitler. So I guess they said, well, maybe we shouldn't give this guy an award. But anyway, he said, well, maybe the blacks will self-exterminate.
Ah,
He wrote that. And I said, wow, when I read that, I thought about the foreign aid being suspended, where hundreds of thousands of people, not only in Africa, but wherever that aid went to 135 countries, thousands of people died already because of Elon Musk, who's a white supremacist, who likes to go around doing Nazi salutes. I said,
yeah.
how much more do I have to convince you that Nazism has invaded the Republican Party? Vance went over there and embraced the neo-Nazi party.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
right.
well, he even
He
he
welcomed,
used
he welcomed Nazi participation at the convention. You see that?
yeah, yeah, but he also, remember, he called Trump a Nazi, you know,
Yeah. And
when he hated
then he
Trump,
sort
when
of
he
kind
was
of liked it.
yeah.
Then he said, well, wait a minute. He was
Hey,
a
so
well,
Ishmael, Ishmael, in the time remaining, what's going to happen in 2026? I mean, it looks like, I guess, more Epstein. I guess America will go to war against Africa or Venezuela. What's going to happen with uh, you
well, I
know?
don't know. We have to wait and see what happens when they show. One of the congressmen said there are films of these people having sexual intercourse with these children,
Yeah,
and Trump is all over the place. So we'll have to see if uh, the MAGAs, if they're together then in another year, if they've tolerated everything else this guy's done.
yeah,
There's a record with women, 15, 16 women, 13-year-old,
yeah.
supposed to rape the 13-year-old. We'll see if they'll tolerate a pedophile in office.
Well,
And then,
well, that's the thing,
get back,
right? I mean,
get back to me after that is exposed.
yeah. I mean, that's sort of the fear, that maybe with this new, uh, million documents that they found, really it points to,
Cover up.
perhaps, is he a pedophile
He,
also?
well, he said he liked them real young. I don't know, but I mean, we'll see if the MAGAs will still. I mean, especially the Christian ones
Yeah.
who
Well, maybe that's why he
who,
went after the Muslims. I
who
went after
once in a
ISIS
while,
in Nigeria.
like the Christian ones, who once in a while show that they have a pretty active sex life too. You know,
Yeah.
they get caught in some things. So I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. But get back. We should have this conversation when all the files are out.
When all the what? Oh,
The
the files. When the files are out. Yeah. All right. So we should.
unless we're in war with China and Africa.
Yeah. I mean, anything. I mean, the worst thing turns out not to be the use of nuclear weapons, because that would end things. So, that was a fear. Oh, well, maybe
Well, this
he'll
crazy,
have the keys to the nuclear codes. Right?
this crazy person in Russia, he says he might use them. I wouldn't put
Yeah.
it past him.
Well, but it's all these other things that he does that are just are lesser things
It
that
would
have
affect
real
Russia.
repercussions.
It would affect Russia too. Don't they know that? I mean,
Yeah.
I read where the atomic testing in the Southwest affected the health of people in 44 states. So
Yeah.
I wonder if these guys who have access to these weapons really know that it spreads. Maybe they think it'll just come to the Ukraine and stop.
Yeah.
And plus, you have a nuclear plant there. They're always bombing. They always like to
Oh
bomb.
yeah. Yeah. They had they
They're
had
still
tr-
bombing. They're still bombing it.
yeah. That was the scene of the one of the biggest nuclear disasters
Right.
ever, right? Chernobyl.
Mobile. Yeah.
So, Ishmael, I want to end on something light because it's the new year, and uh, the new year has not ended, or the old year has not ended so well for me because I had a funeral I attended for my brother-in-law,
Yeah.
and that was sad. But I it taught me something about miracles during Christmas, and that is the act of forgiveness or forgiving people. And on his deathbed, I wanted to ask him for forgiveness, but I couldn't. I couldn't because I may not have been the best brother-in-law that I could have been. But where we found common ground, and this is the light part, where we found common ground was talking about the Golden State Warriors, and we were a big, warrior. And I know you've written poems about the Warriors, so I just want to end our little session today with where are the Warriors going? I guess they're going to trade Kaminga. I guess.
Well, they won the last three games.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe.
They seem to be with Jimmy Butler. They seem to be doing much better.
Yeah, but they're not playing Kaminga at all. They're not playing him. So I
Well,
don't know.
uh, now my brother says he thinks that Kerr wants to.
Curry. Oh,
Yeah,
Kerr.
Kerr wants to boost these young white hopes like Post and some of the others. I don't know.
Post and Pajemski and
Yeah, they want to boost them. You know,
the great. Oh, hey, speaking of Great White Hope, and this came up when I saw Dave Chappelle's new special. He has a thing where he talks about Jack Johnson, and he talks about the Mann Act, which was used against. It was really used to get Jack Johnson, as you know. But Chappelle brings up the Mann Act because it was also used to get uh, Sean Puffy Combs.
yeah, yeah.
And I guess that's an irony. Not they're not exactly. I mean, Jack Johnson wasn't engaged in trafficking, but he was a man who liked white women and he was married to one, and that was the law used, the Mann Act, to get people of color from mixing. They try to say, "Oh, it's
I mean,
prostitution."
I think P Diddy partied with the wrong people. He should have partied with Epstein, and his name would not come up as having done anything wrong. See, he thought he had all the money.
Yeah,
He embraced
yeah.
over class. He had a lot of money, and with that money, he should have been there with Epstein and all the boys, and
See,
the people from the banks,
Banks.
other places. But he couldn't. So what he did, he had to party with people who would expose him, like 50 Cent, who got shot 9 times. His claim to fame is he got shot 9 times.
Yeah.
You ever see Harry Melville? Harry Melville he just swoons over these guys. God, Harry Melville on there.
Oh, Ari
Yeah,
Melber,
he's cold.
MS Now.
Yeah, he's
MS
quoting
Now.
rap and quoting, all you talk about rap and hip hop. And I said, he's for hip hop as long as they're not killing each other in his neighborhood.
But it's funny that you say that Sean Puffy Combs should have been hanging out with Epstein,
Right.
and he should have been hanging out with the Lolita crowd.
Yeah, but he didn't have the money. He had the money.
Yeah.
I saw his
But
I saw his place in South Beach in Florida.
yeah.
We drove by there and he
Yeah.
had a yacht out in front of the house and all that. So he's right down there with them. So why didn't they let him party? I mean, Trump party with guys.
Yeah.
Trump party. Did you know Trump party with hip hoppers?
Yeah. I didn't know that
Luther
specifically.
Campbell. Now you can Google this.
Yeah.
Luther Campbell.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can,
Who's game?
you can Google it. Remember Two
Yeah.
Live Crew?
Yeah.
He said he went to a party that Trump threw in Miami, and it was so raunchy, he left.
Well, I know. Well,
He
maybe
said,
that's why.
he said you had all these little young girls in these bedrooms, and he said it was so raunchy, he couldn't even talk about what happened.
Maybe that's the thing with Puff Daddy. He didn't have enough olive oil or baby oil. Was it
Yeah,
baby oil?
he got left out. And
Not enough baby oil. Uh,
but 50 Cent, they're involved in the old slave fight, that
yeah.
old plantation, two
Oh
bucks,
yeah, yeah,
$2 butting each other in the head comes from the plantation days. So 50 Cent making money.
yeah. Uh, there was. Well, check out the Chappelle special because he does talk about Jack Johnson and talks about the hip hop crowd, and it was. I thought it was he's talking about waiting it out, waiting out. He's very strong because he did the special in D.C. and he
Yeah,
was there to support.
isn't he one who said that? Isn't he the one who said that they should give Trump a chance?
At the beginning.
Well,
At the beginning.
he should have known the guy's record, man.
Well, he said that. He said that like when Trump
I
won the
mean,
first time against Hillary.
what the press has done is this:
Yeah.
they've replaced the traditional civil rights leaders and people who are head of civil rights foundations and movements who do the hard work every day.
Yeah.
These hip hoppers and entertainers. So during the campaign, they asked hip hoppers what they thought about Kamala's candidacy, and one of them named Little Pump. You know his work.
No, I don't know Lil Pump.
Well, there's 16 rappers who supported Trump. I'm writing about this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Trump called him Little Pimp. He forgot his name. It's Little Pump. And he said he was against Kamala. And Ari Mondani.
Ari Melber, MS now.
Mondani is the mayor of New York, right?
Yeah, Mamdani. Yeah.
Yeah. He had Mondani on his show, Ari.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
He has some, public intellectual or anything like that. He has 50 Cent. What he thought about Mondani answered the question 50 Cent. 50 Cent said he would leave New York if Mondani was elected. So there you go. And so, I don't know if you read this, and you can Google this. Go to New York Times. A year before P. Diddy got busted, the New York Times had a puff piece about him saying, boy, he's an entrepreneur and he's his own man and he takes orders from there, you know what I mean? They knew this guy's history. And if you want to see Pepsi Cola promoting, remember? P. Diddy?
Yeah, I do remember.
It's still on YouTube.
I do remember.
If you want to see the Pepsi Cola endorsement of P. Diddy, it's on YouTube. So these capitalists, they don't care, man. They don't care what these people think. Like, Fox News is against the black Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want, man, the capitalists are running these basketball games. They got black Santa Clauses all over the place. Yeah. They don't care.
All right. On that note, Ishmael, we've gone over our time. I appreciate you coming on, talking about the news, other things, as well as the Before Columbus Foundation.
Well, I got a humdinger if I can get it published on BVAC, my man, BVAC Ramaswamy.
Oh yeah, let's hear. Well, I'll bring you on. We'll talk about more about BVAC.
And all about his about face.
Yeah.
Bro Rabbit.
Okay.
Bro Rabbit.
Brer Rabbit. Hey, speaking of Brer Rabbit, what's the latest? Speaking of Brer Rabbit, what's the latest on the amanuensis?
We might do it at the Fireside Gallery, a reading next month. If you're in town, you could have that role.
Oh, in town in San Francisco or New York?
New York.
In New York.
And in August, we might do it at the 92nd Street Y. That would be our biggest opportunity so far in the theater.
Hey, if you let me know, and I will fly out for the role.
Okay, I'll tell Ron.
Just give me some time.
You work for Ron Neal. Ron Neal's going to be directing.
Okay, well, just let me know, and I'll fly out.
And we got a film of Robert Anderson as Walt Disney. It's brilliant. Okay.
Cool. All right, Ishmael Reed. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you,
Here.
and I'll be in touch. But thank you very much
I'm here in the
for
dark.
being.
I don't have the lights on. You should have
That's
told
all right. That's all right.
me.
It's cool. It's cool. It's
I'm like Lamont Cranston in the shadow. The shadow.
all right.
I'll
Hey, thanks, Ishmael.
Okay. Have a
Regards to
happy
the
New Year.
family. Happy New Year to you. There he goes, my friend Ishmael Reed.
Take care.
Take care, my friend Ishmael Reed. Ah, I oh there he is. There he is. Oh there he is. Oh no. There he is. Okay. Ishmael Reed. You know, I've known Ishmael Reed a long time. And he's always I consider him a mentor of mine. I consider him, and I just finally started understanding him within the last 10 years. I didn't know what. I mean, I no 15 years maybe 20. But early on I said, "Wow, Ishmael Reed, the Before Columbus Foundation, catch the book Blind Persistence is the name of the book, The History of the Before Columbus Foundation, 50 years, published by Baraka Books in Canada. In Canada, had to be published in Canada. No one in America wanted to talk about the diversity, multiculturalism, the history of it. 2,000 years of storytelling, going back to the natives, the First Nation. Oh, there I am. I'm back again. Boy, I'm having so many issues with issues with. Let's say, oh, I'm going to talk about this. My show, Emil Amok, 69 again, or 69. I'm doing this show at the Playground San Francisco. Go to playgroundsf.vbotickets.com. And you can buy tickets for 69 Emil Amok, a real journalist stands up. I talk about my Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, the interesting, no? Yeah, the very Trump derangement syndrome that Donald Trump, accused Rob Reiner of, to Trump's disgrace. I mean, is he crazy? I explain. I explain it all. 69 to Emil Amok. Go see it. It's it's by donation, so it's essentially free. If you all you want to donate is $1, you can do that. You can also see it streamed in the comfort of your home. But I mean, you might want to donate like $500 or $1,000, so you might feel the spirit of giving, right? So go to playgroundsf.vbotickets.com and pick 69 Emil Amok. Pick a date. Check it out. It's in January. And then I do a new show, Emil Amok Anchorman, in February. So I'm doing a lot of stuff in San Francisco. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to New York to do a reading. I do the amanuensis. I would do that if my schedule allows. Anyway, check that out. We'll repeat this. I hope you catch this show. Go to the beginning. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. We like to close with a little meditation. Sharon Salzberg, a meditation guru of mine. You got to have a number of gurus because they're all like retiring now. And so I like Sharon Salzberg for the loving kindness meditation. And it goes like this. And so, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Ease. That's what we're looking for. A little ease. A little ease. A little social lube. A little ease, right? Have a Great rest of your holiday. See you next week. Till next time. Emil Guillermo here.